Hey everybody, this is Fragger here for the penultimate episode of N+. We're here to do 40 through 44, the last 50 levels. We're starting off with Chipset here. This one's pretty easy. You just got to make sure that you stand in the right place with these hunters and you're good to go. That's kind of it. I mean, if you want to go down and grab some of these gold or go up and follow these golds, it'll actually pretty much take you a little longer to get them than it takes for you to actually get the gold, than to actually leave. So it's usually just in your best interest to leave. So once again, it's a greed trap. You may end up with maybe plus 10 or something insignificant like that, but who knows. Industrial Zone X is another level which is fairly difficult, but with a really easy trick. You can easily go over there and just hit the button and leave. It's a fairly tricky jump on the way out, but if you've gotten this far in the game, you can make this jump. This level is another one in this series that could very easily have been in an earlier episode and been a lot better in place. The only reason why some of these levels are difficult is the fact that they're long. It's very easy to screw up one of these jumps here with the sniper turret, especially that one there when you're trying to exit. So that's kind of the only thing that'll kill you, that and underjumping with these chasers. That's kind of it. Or, you know, you do this jump here and you don't wall kick at the last possible second. That's kind of it. Other than that, it's just going to be like stress-based mistakes, like missing a jump because you're just going, oh my god, I'm almost done, oh my god, I'm almost done, or you're just running out of time because you've been in this level for fucking ever. And that's one of the things that it kind of raises the difficulty here and there, and there's a few levels in this video that are going to be like that. But I'm not a big fan of those. I'm also not a big fan of the fact that there's not a ton of gold in here, and that's going to start to be very apparent here soon. But also with those doors on the bottom, of course, you saw that they section it off so you can't go back that way or do the same entrance twice. So you kind of want to save the one on the left because you can easily slingshot yourself right into the exit door. And you're also right. It's also an easy path from the thing. This level here, Propellerhead, pretty damn easy. It's kind of like a wind down after the last one being so long. They give you a super short level. It lets you refill your gold a bit. And that's kind of all this level is. It's got some fairly tight jumps, but nothing to write home about. The only difficult part is just making sure you have the momentum to go over that mine on the wall, but at this point in the game, you should be good at it. Electric is actually pretty interesting. When you first start the level, if you start wall kicking immediately, you'll propel yourself up high enough to hit that button. Otherwise, the pad won't help. Coming down is the hardest thing. It is? Well, we should probably figure that out. Yeah, I'm going to go back down and get all that gold that we missed in the beginning, because this is a really easy level, and since that everything else has been super easy in this video pretty much, might as well just make things a little harder and go down. Coming back up is going to be around the exact same thing that we did before. Just got to control your speed a bit, and you're done. It wasn't exactly that hard. Well, we're going to see more difficult stuff in this game very soon, because they ratchet things up now. Take Several Pills is a level that's actually pretty damn easy. You can see here that we're just wall kicking off each wall. The only thing that really makes this thing difficult is the fact that the rounded tops make it difficult to land, as you could see right there. But you can grab some quick and easy gold here, and we're going to kind of need it. We don't really need a ton. There's nothing that's really going to bleed you dry in this. But the main problem you're going to have is hitting these tops a little too hard and sliding down, hitting the ground. The Crucible is tricky, mainly because they place the mines in almost perfect places to slow you down and screw you up. And also, this is a little trial by fire on how to be really close to a missile launcher, but by now we've done this so many times that it's really no consequence, and you can start really like playing with them like I'm doing there. The only problem that you may bump into is something that I almost do there, which is I threw myself a little bit too fast and I almost hit that mine, which you're almost guaranteed to. The machine is a pretty easy level. In fact, it's probably the easiest in this entire video because bam, we're already going to the exit door and everything else is just gold. But this is one of those that's kind of setting you up for the fall. The next two levels are pretty tricky. So they're kind of doing this to give you a decent set of gold so that you don't have to stress out too much the next levels, and also kind of set you up for something like this. Rhombus, I plod like dough, is a fairly tricky level just because the platforms are tiny and slanted edges. So you got to land on them fairly perfectly if you want to keep momentum, or if you want to be able to, you know, not slide into the mines at the bottom. But as you see in the end, it wasn't that bad. This level is the one that's bad. A Daring Daylight Raid. This is one of those levels where it shows you that they can be kind of a dick. Because you can see here, it's not too bad. Pretty easy jumps. But the thing that this level does, and as I mentioned, is this one gives you stress errors. The end part here is really tough. So getting to that part has some tricky jumps that aren't too bad. But you'll start messing up when you do this over and over and over, and that's where they get you. Now we're in the sniper section. You want to kind of do what I'm doing here. You kick off the wall, and you do not want to touch the right-hand half of that. Mainly because the moment that you do, you're not moving fast enough, and the sniper will hit you. You'll see how almost every single one of these jumps, I am barely missing being shot. And that's because the moment that you touch that side, you're shot. It happens every time. And I have unlimited, I'm almost a fucking, hour of footage of that. Also, hitting these drones the second after that you do that, and you're like, oh god, I did that, hit the drone, and you're just ready to punch something in the face. And that's where this game will start to get you, is the fact that you'll make mistakes like that. Because you've gone through a level that's tough, but long. That's pretty much it for this level. And then we're going to transition into episode 42. Where things are going to increase in their difficulty. As soon as I hit continue. There we go. Itch is actually a really easy level. You can do this. Now, getting the gold on the sides, those are greed traps. It's damn near impossible to get them. I'm sure somebody can actually get them. I spent 20 minutes trying to get gold, and I could not make the first jump back. So, have fun with that. Plus, you don't need it, because this level here is pretty easy, and you get a ton of gold out of it. The Valley of the Shadow is a tricky level. It's not exactly difficult. It's nice and short, so you can kind of figure out the gimmick pretty quickly. Pretty much you want to destroy this missile and then get out of there while it's chasing you. You don't want to not have momentum while you're doing that, or else the missile's going to catch up to you and you're kind of boned. Lickety split. Very easy. Just some small jumps. Pretty much it's kind of setting you up for doing some chaser jumps here, but we've done this before. Doesn't need to be here. This level. Hexa City. This one sucks. In a good way. I like this level because it's very difficult and it's a puzzle. But I still spent way too much time doing it. So this is when things are going to start to get tricky. You really need to learn momentum when it comes to these slanted platforms, or else you are going to not be able to do this level. You can see just how quickly you have to move, and you also need to be able to do that bottom jump there, because that's what saves you from this. Also, game these missiles, trick them into exploding so that they do that, and then take the bottom. If that bottom missile there is still chasing you, if you go above that rhombus, sorry, not rhombus, hexagon, this is Hexa City, you're perfectly fine and you can make that jump. Now, I'm just being a little cautious here because, once again, this is a very long level and making mistakes in the end game is really terrible. Now, this is when you can run into some issues. I have this missile tracked onto me, and usually you just make 2 jumps and you're done. And then I almost tracked more, so you just gotta wait for the missiles to be done because you want them to be being shot at you when they're exploding, because they'll chase you if they're in the air for too long. And that's not what you want. You want this to happen. Now, you go back down and you do kind of the jumps that we just did, and it will easily propel you into the end. Otherwise, if you're on the top, you're in the air for too long, and that top missile launcher will hit you almost every time. And it's super annoying. But that's it for 42. Once again, 43 is going to be difficult. Like a Fox is a super easy level. This game is really starting to go into the wacky ups and downs in terms of difficulty here, and this is one of the downs. This is a really easy level. You can see here there's nothing particularly challenging about dodging 3 chasers in a regular pattern twice, 3 times, and it's not like the button's in a really difficult place. You just hit it and you just fall straight down and you're done. Even when the chaser's down there, you'll still hit the door before you hit the chaser, so you're fine. Spring Training, probably one of the very, very last levels that we'll see the hunters. I know I said that last time, but I forgot this level existed. Because it's so unmemorable, pretty much just want to jump around. You could zoom out to see where the top chasers are, which have your sound on. Listen for how many sounds of them coming after you there are, and you're fine. Take it a little slow, grab some gold, you're good to go. Easy peasy. Done. Boosh. This level here, silica redundancy. This is one where you have to move fast and you have to be able to tell where these things are going to be when you're doing your wall kicks. You also have to trust these bouncy pads to not throw you down too far. And then the trek down is incredibly hairy and you'll fuck it up half the time. Well, not always, but I will, because I'm me. The name of the rose. This one's tricky. You have to go left. Now, I'm not sure you absolutely have to, but I went on the right like every time, and I was never able to go the left on the way back and survive. It has to do with the fact that there's an irregular pattern here with the drones, and there's way more of them on the left than there are on the right. So going in the left is actually quite easy, but coming out that way is damn near impossible. So once you realize that and you dig to the right-hand path, you got it, but tricky level. We're all voyeurs, let them watch. Holy crap. This one's very luck-based. You have to be very, very lucky in one specific section, and that's here. You have to make sure that missile doesn't hit you, that sniper doesn't hit you, and the third one doesn't hit you. Going back, you want to make sure that missile's still alive. Then you can dodge that. Then you gotta wait for that laser turret to be in the left-hand side. Then you're pretty much scot-free. As long as that one there wasn't activated too early in the beginning, otherwise it's going to be shooting you straight in the face. Yup. Thank you, N+. Let's move on to the last episode of this video, which includes insectifuge, I think is what that said. It went way too fast. Easy. Gold. Nothing will ever hit you in the bottom, so you're good to go. See? Pretty easy. Just take your time, grab the gold. Well, don't take too much time. You want to make sure that the gold is still good, and you kind of want to be in the hundreds. You'll see why. Here we are in Twice Round. This is a level that I kind of like. It's a, you do a loop, but you do the loop twice, and it's kind of fun that way. Although this will end up giving you stress errors, just because of the fact that this part here is a little hairy, and you don't want to hit that too hard. You don't want to fall straight down. You'll die, blah, 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 mines, etc., etc. But yeah, it's pretty neat. I kind of like this one. Probably one of my favorite levels of this video. But just got to get to the end at this point. And wow, that was close. And door. Moving on, we got Old Western. This one is interesting. It's not difficult, it's just weird. This one probably could have been in the last video and been a little bit better difficulty-wise. Pretty much you just kind of have to hit all these buttons in the order that you can. If you get enough momentum, you might be able to go up there and hit the button. I was never able to pull it off. Also, don't go down that left side. Too many mines. And just grab these two buttons. And then I'll open up the right-hand corridor so you can go straight up. But all in all, it's kind of blah, actually. It could have probably used a few more gunners in it. Or machine guns, sorry. And then it'd be a lot better. But as of right now, as you can see, it's kind of blah. We're already almost done. See? Yeah, see? Easy. Kind of blah. Twinkle, twinkle, little gold. This one here is fairly difficult if you want to grab a bunch of the gold, because the windows for grabbing it are really tight, and I just want to grab some of the gold, because I remember the next level when I was doing this, I'm like, oh god, next level. And then you can see, we're already done. Drones weren't really that much of a problem. Natty Flow. This one is almost like a final exam when it comes to knowing how to treat missiles. Because you're going to have to trust that these missiles aren't going to kill you. And you also cannot freak out in this level. Because, yeah, the windows for things are incredibly tight. Just like this here. If you hit that perfectly, that missile won't follow you. And you have to do something like that. But if you hover too long in the air, that left-hand side missile will kill you. And then you got something like this to deal with. Then you got this to deal with. And then once you're in the position that I'm in, it's pretty easy. You kind of game that missile that come up with you on the left-hand side, mainly because you want to kill it so that the second missile won't be an issue. Because otherwise, the second missile will be an issue, and then it's a, issue, and it's not fun. Now we got to trek back, which is a lot easier than it looks, mainly because that jump's pretty easy. Jump up there. That jump's really easy. And then you just got to kind of get yourself out, and you're done. So that's the second to last batch of episodes. Trust me, they ratchet up a lot very soon. See you guys.